Little Women is the latest film adaptation of the classic American novel by Louisa May Alcott, and it centers around the story of four sisters who grew up during the Civil War times, I want to believe. Now, I'll start by saying that I've never read the book. I know in high school we're all supposed to have read it, but for whatever reason I never got around to it. I never had to, I don't know. Never read the book. I never saw the film version with Winona Ryder back in the 90s. So I went into this film not knowing anything about the characters, the story. So it was a very, very fresh, clean slate, which I think is a good thing, because then I was able to go into the film just kind of absorb all the characters and the dialogue and the storyline as new and experience it in that way. So I was really looking forward to the film in that sense. Now, that being said, the execution of this film, I am not really a fan of it. I'll go into why. First of all, I'll start with the things I like in the movie, and that's primarily some of the performances, and that's primarily Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan plays Jo March, who is pretty much a central character in the story, and she's kind of a tomboyish person, not really looking for love. She just wants to write, and I thought her character was really great, really fleshed out, and her performance was amazing. She's a fantastic actress, and she worked previously with Greta Gerwig, who is the writer and director of this film, on Lady Bird, which Gerwig also directed, and they just have a really good collaborative spirit, I believe, and Saoirse Ronan just delivers a really fantastic performance with what she's given. The other performance that I really, really liked was by Timothée Chalamet. I think Timothée Chalamet is a fantastic actor, young kid, but he just has a really impactful role so far in his resume, and he just kind of has a really good fit for this period piece, I think, with his look, his line delivery, and I thought he really did a really good job as Laurie, and he had great chemistry with Saoirse Ronan as well. So that I really liked about the film. In addition to that, I thought the cinematography was good, the set designs, the wardrobes, it all looked great. So in a visual sense, it looked really good. Other than that, though, I just, again, not knowing the source material, I thought this story was just not really as fleshed out as it could be, and especially the characters. Now, the oldest sister, Meg, played by Emma Watson, I just found her to be very one-dimensional, and she kind of disappears for big portions of the film at a time, and I just really wasn't that interested in her character, and then she could have been a little more fleshed out. Emma Watson is an okay actress. I haven't really liked her in anything since Harry Potter. I just find her to be very bland and mediocre in everything she's in, and this performance didn't really convince me otherwise. The other key character, if you will, is Amy, the third sister, played by Florence Pugh, and she's supposed to be kind of like a rival with Jo, and I just found it to be really, really annoying, and I just couldn't stand her character. Now, I'm not sure, again, how she's written in the book, but in this film version, I just could not stand her. And there's a way in film to make unlikable characters likable. And what I mean by that is there's always a character you're not supposed to like, or you're supposed to love to hate, or a villain even. But given the good writing and given some good performance, those factors can make a character like that, you know, sympathetic, or at least you can understand where they're coming from. Now, but with Florence Pugh, who I'm not really a fan of. I know she's the hot actress at the moment with Midsummer and Black Widow coming up, and I'm just not a fan of her work so far. And this film didn't really convince me otherwise either. I just found it to be, again, really annoying. I thought her dialogue was horrible. I thought the way her character was written, there's supposed to be like this redemption for her, but I didn't really see that. I just was really focused toward the bad things that she did. I just found her really annoying that way, and she didn't do it in a way where I could really empathize with her, and it's like I just didn't really buy her performance. So not a fan of her character. And who I really felt got shorted, it was the character of Beth. Now, again, not knowing how she was written in the book, but in this movie, Beth is like, she's pretty much just a plot device, not even a character at all. She's just this person who is sick that brings everyone together, and that's it. You don't really get to know her. There's a little bit things of her trying to take care of this poor family, but not really anything enough to make her a full fleshed out character. So yeah, I just feel like they made Beth into this plot device just to kind of have her be sick and bring everyone together. So I think she got the short end of the stick on this one. So yeah, this movie was just very uneven. And speaking of that, it flashes back and forth between the present time and 7 years ago, and it took me kind of a while to kind of figure out what period was what, because it would go from scene to scene. I'm like, okay, are we now back in present time or back in the flashback? I couldn't really tell, and that was a bit confusing for me as well. So yeah, this film, I wanted to like it because I do like period films, you know, believe it or not, I do. And you know, there was some amazing talent going into this film, but I feel like the direction is not up to snuff. And there was one scene in particular, which is a critical scene in the film, where Joel confronts Laurie, and they're in this, you know, plush green meadow, and it looks great, but there was no emotional impact. And I feel like this should have been the emotional crux of the film, where Joel confronts Laurie about their feelings, and I didn't feel anything. And I don't fault Saoirse Ronan for it. I think she was just following Greta Gerwig's direction, and I thought there could have been much more impact to this scene, but it was just kind of like two young kids just kind of having a really superficial fight. That's what it felt like to me anyway. So I thought, after watching that scene, like, that scene could have been a lot more meaningful had they done it this way or tried this. And when you start to second guess the director's choices, that's not really a good thing. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of Greta Gerwig's direction in this movie, with that scene in particular being the point where like I felt like she just made some wrong choices. So along with that, you know, again, the jumping back and forth timeline and the resolution of the film, I don't know if that's how it's written in the book, but I thought that was a little weird. But I'm gonna assume it's a change from the original book, but what the hell do I know? So yeah, Little Women, it's got some great potential, but the execution didn't really do it for me. I like some performances in the film, it looks great, but other performances I just didn't like, and I didn't like how most of the characters weren't really fleshed out. So yeah, I couldn't really get into this film. So Little Women for me gets a 5 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching my review. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel MC on Film for more reviews in the future.